Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirosho here, and now, before we do begin, let me give a brief little review. In the last part, we had a lot going on. Izuku, him and Pyro went on a date to Sarah, and whenever they had a lot of chaos going on the first day, they were invited to stay there for a few days and enjoy the festivities. This was an unknown event, and it should become a celebration of a life a man lived. Enjoy the time life grants you. That was what the old man learned. And while he may not know where his great grandfather may finally rest, he knows it is in a place no one may ever find him, if the word of the hero is to be trusted. Now, upon Deku's return, he found Erodos and Oliver sparring with swords. Oliver, he had a wound on his arm, and Erodos was not happy that Deku ran away from her challenge. She fought one of the other heroes, and she was not happy that even after going through combat together and getting his word, he fled from their battle. And Izuku, he gave her the challenge she wanted. However, Deku, upon the advice of Sir Theodore, whenever he returned with Indra from flying training, he used the Nodachi he had, that the King of York did give him. Now, this sword felt strange in Deku's hands. He's gotten used to dual wielding, and while he might have the strength to swing around two large swords, one sword that is about as heavy, maybe just a little lighter. It's odd. Holding this thing in his hand is strange. His hands feel farther apart, but at the same time he can swing it effortlessly. It's a sword made for an orc, but in his hands it's still just as effective. He just needs better technique, more time to get used to it. And this battle showed off that Izuku, he may have the strength and speed, but his technique definitely does need a bit more improvement. Especially considering the fact that after breaking Erodos's sword, he gave her a new one. And Sir Theodore, he was quite intrigued to know more about that weapon itself. It was powerful. It gleamed with magic. And the way it shined, it was something to keep an eye on. The man asked about Deku's quote-unquote familiar, learning that the pseudo-dragon he had with him wasn't that. It was more like a pet, and Theodore quickly remedied the situation, since Deku, from what he said, needed one. Now, after drawing up the magical contract, he got to work. They formed the bond, and Izuku gained a new, unique skill, one that will allow him to grow dragon scales along his body for additional armor, along with a resistance to fire and a boost to his own magic, along with a familiar bond. He also then gave the dragon the name Aztoth. Now, this does mean quite a bit. Izuku then spent the rest of time learning Sylvan, the language of the Fae, and beginning to learn more about their history. Though Sir Theodore, he wanted to get Deku back on training immediately, since, after all he's heard, he wants Deku to not only be strong enough to fight Indra and beat her over and over, he wants to teach him a new fighting style, one that may be of benefit to him, especially if what's happening with the gods is something that may happen soon. He needs to learn these techniques. He needs to be ready. And that, it definitely showed off in Deku's magical training. Now, let's pick up almost about a week later, if not several days later. Deku, he currently does somewhat sit there. Oliver is next to him, and he does continue talking, trying to express. It's still kind of hard to believe. So, that's how it kind of works? Yeah, it does. I mean, I don't know too much else about planes, but They're more complex. Like I said before, there's a reason why it's called horsepower. But it doesn't have the power of 1,500 horsepower or horses. That's a lot of horses. I don't exactly know how they. I don't know. It's called that because when cars started, they were still on the roads with horses. I think that's why. They were just a little bit faster, then over time it just spiraled. I'd say one could probably run faster than I can. Faster than you? Yeah, yeah, it can. Deku, keeping his eyes closed. And right now, he does go to open his eyes as he does try to lean his head up. As a bead of sweat does go to fall off his forehead and hit the ground. Right on him going to lower himself down on his forearms before he finally does allow himself to collapse forwards, hitting the ground and talking about it. Okay. That was about 10 minutes. How did he feel? Oliver going to fall forwards, catching himself as well, and going to suck in a breath, trying to think about exactly all of this. Even with the magical bracers and some of the other items Deku got, he still feels left behind. But that, it definitely is something. It's physical and mental. I still don't get how this helps to improve magic. It's a thing. It's for concentration. Usually I would go for about an hour, but we're trying to ease you into this. Right. I think I could do another 5 minutes, but give me a second to let the blood rush out of my head. Right. I know I've still got a few things I need to learn. I'm still messing up this one spell. I don't know if I can properly cast it. What is it? It's one of the ones in my book. Deku holding up his hand. His quote-unquote grimoire gonna pop up. The journal Deku has written every magical spell down in Sir Theodore has tried to teach him. And while some pages do lay somewhat scattered, and some are notes, Oliver does get to stare at that, as Deku's gonna find it and hold it out to him, talking about it. It's called Demiplane. From what he gets, this is a very powerful magic spell. Yeah, that's wow. I don't know if you can do that one. I've only heard of a few people who can do that. I think Theodore is one of them. Maybe, but I don't know what's so hard about that. I mean, you're creating a link to another place to create it. Is that what he told you? Yeah? Izuku, I don't think that's right. I mean, Rosita's mentioned before that that's a very powerful spell. And you don't create the place unless you have enough magic. What you do is you reach out and punch into a dimension. Seriously? I think so. I'm not versed in it. I just know I don't think you create the plane. Well, you create the room that's on the plane, I think, but that's it. That's why it's challenging. But what about these other spells, though? What other things have Theodore tried to teach you? I haven't gotten down on the polymorph spell yet, but I'm still working on that one. Though, you wanted to learn something for yourself? I could try to teach you to fly. I'm done. Honestly, after trying to cast that once, it was enough for me. I'd like to stick with my helmets. Wind and ice? Yeah, I can definitely do that. But come on. I can teach you warp step. Or, no, wait, hang on. Uh, sorry. You okay? Yeah, I'm just a little tired. It's vortex warp. Seriously? I've heard of that one. I think hmm, it teleports you. Not too far away, but you gotta see the place. You learned how to teleport? It wasn't that hard. Gee, rub it in, why don't you? I'm sorry. It just, of all the spells I've kind of learned, that one wasn't that hard. I mean, I'm still working on this one spell, and after the vampires, I'm a little focused on that one. That and polymorph. Okay, but what else have you learned? Deku going to flip over to the back of the book before he has to show it off to Oliver, along with expressing. He does keep details here, but he also does try to keep track of them with his system. Everything's kind of scattered there whenever you go into the cantrips and other stuff. So, that's incredible, though. These are a lot, dude. I can teach you one that I do like. Deku holding up his hands and going to slap them together for spraying them apart. Butterflies begin to fly apart from his hands, and he has to talk about it. It's pretty simple. And Oliver does go look around, watching as the purple, blues, and even the oranges do begin to fly away. And there is where Pyra does come walking up, asking the two exactly if they're done with their little break. We're fine. Pyra walking forwards and gonna give Deku a side hug. Before he does, gonna turn and give her a kiss, asking her exactly if she's alright. I'm fine. You are sweaty. Her gonna wipe her hand on her shirt, telling him that there's still a lot happening. Right now, though, she's learning a bit more information. She's hearing rumors about things going on with the Fae. Right. Do we know anything about that situation? I don't think so. But as far as I know, it's all been kept hush hush. They still are worried with the humans, but that's another problem. How's your studies going? They're fine. Are you okay? Yeah, sorry. Just haven't been sleeping well. Still? Yeah. Just having these weird dreams again. Though the other night was a bit different. I was in a forest and I was flying. I don't know. That one's complicated. That sounds weird. Though, what about Theodore? Hmm? Oh, right. Um, well, I'm still trying to learn the moves of that dance. I don't know. He's still a little bit more tight lipped about it. He wants to make sure that I can do it all in one go before anything. Okay, that's odd. Right now, Sir Theodore going to land, and Deku does a turn, seeing the pair of white wings behind him once more, still trying to refuse to push that up to the surface. The man was injured in combat. He doesn't know how, but if it was powerful enough to take out those wings, he won't bring it up. It might be a sore subject, though he does still maintain all that power. He might be able to restore them. But that does raise the question then. The man stepping forwards, asking Izuku exactly if they're done with their little magic lessons. Hmm? Oh, um, We were still going to meditate a little bit and go over a few things. Um, do you think that he'll be fine on his own? Gee, thanks for the vote of confidence. Oliver, you're not that attuned with mana. Yeah, I know. I know enough. I got it with my training. Yes, you did, kid. Though, that's the problem. Training gives you the basics. It's your responsibility to improve them. And considering the fact that I don't think you've improved them enough, it says a bit. I heard what happened at Stonefen. Even felt a little bit of it. How did you feel then? I felt incredible. I mean, I thought I could even challenge you. You couldn't. But one day you might. So keep working on it. That level of power, you got a taste for it. Now, do you think that you can get there? Put it on your plate and then satisfy that taste. I don't know. I'm willing to try. That's all I can really say. So what should I do? I'd say expend as much magic as you can today, and then tomorrow, do it all over again. You sure? A good night's rest should help you. You're not used to training with magic. Your reserves are still low. You've got to exhaust them so they learn how to refill faster and better. It's part of the basics. Or do they skip that in your little training? Right. Fine. It's just, we should always keep some left, right? No. That's where you're mistaken. If you keep some left in the tank, then you're always willing to wait just a little bit longer. It might be the chance between life or death, but if you don't have enough power to back it up, then it's just a little, well, bad. Right. You're right. The man going to turn, walking away, but still going to somewhat rub at his gauntlet. He does feel better about being stronger, but getting better with magic? Yeah. This does give him a bit more drive. The man turning to Izuku and asking him where his familiar is. Deku turning his head and going to look. His eyes looking distant and glowing. Before he does, going to see the forest below and something running. Before a fireball does a smash on the side of it, and there is a small roar. Deku going to watch it as a sweep down to attack, and he does talk about it. Astoth is hunting. He should be fine. He didn't come back too injured last time. Just a few scrapes and scratches. Good. Area shouldn't be too bad close to the kingdom. Right. But are we training with Indra today? Staying ahead? Barely. She's too aggressive. In combat, I don't know if she'd be reliable. Kid, she's half dragon. They're kinda like that. I know, but still. If she's like that all the time, if she can't pull herself back, she's going to get herself killed. She's strong, yeah, but I don't know if she uses tactics too well. She's willing to try, but she's arrogant. I know. That's why you're here. So, think that you can use your newfound magical abilities in this rematch? Maybe. But I did have a question. Yeah? What's the situation with the Fae? I'm sure you learn more, and I haven't exactly been in to see the court yet. I kinda have been putting them off a bit. Huh. Well, I've told them not to disturb you unless it's absolutely urgent. So you're fine. Though, don't bow to them. They might be nobles, kid, but they're still snobs. A little too rich for my blood, and that's the problem. They think that they can rule through the king. They can't. He has final say. You might need to be nice, prim and proper to them, but that's about it. But as for the situation, we don't know. I've tried learning a bit more, and the person who I've had try to look in, they're not sure. All they know is someone important died, and people are pointing fingers. That's why the humans are involved. They think someone did it? Clever observation. They believe they have evidence showing that it was one of our people who go there. Something happened with our envoy. Right now, if peace breaks down between us and the Fae, that gets bad. Besides, I don't exactly want to deal with some crazy archfey who thinks he might have killed one of her nobles. Especially a powerful one. That is how you get cursed. Badly. Uh-huh. Right. I'm still looking into their culture a bit more, but all I'm finding is, well, what you've told me. Stories of tricksters and people making deals with the devil. At least that's how some of them are portrayed. That's how a lot of them are. There's rarely situations where you and the Fae come out broke even. But that's the thing. They don't think you know it. Their word is their bond. So keep that in mind. You keep saying that, but do they really follow it that strictly? They do. Now, come on. I'm going to wave Deku and Pyra over. As Pyra, she has to watch Deku for a minute. Right now, Theodore bringing his hands up and telling Izuku to activate his ability. And Izuku, he does begin to manifest his spirit. Right now the aura beginning to shine around him. It glowing white and then shifting somewhat to blue. As he does go to bring his hands up and feel it begin to flow through him. And his system does inform him. Spirit level 5 is active. And Deku does stand there. Right now him with his hands up. And Theodore does tell him, good. Now, this part's going to be a little trickier. Him dropping into a stance, one that does seem slightly familiar. His hands are open. His fists are open. He's using his palms? No, he's not going for a slash or a blade attack with mana. His fingers are relaxed. But why? And Deku does get to see it. Mana shoots out of Theodore's back, and it does begin to coalesce around him as his aura does go to a vibrant purple. Before Deku does get to stare on, and the man, he does begin to create the illusion. The wings going to form behind him. And this, it does intrigue Deku. The man going to express. It's a little bit more flashy, but he thought he'd appreciate that. Did he drop his guard? No, what is that? How are you doing that? Well, it's a construct. Something you create out of your own magic. So, that's what you have to do. Create a construct. From what I understand, your slime magic was a failed attempt at transmutation. This is a minor illusion, but use your spirit. Deku going to nod, bringing his hands up and remembering the feeling of creating armor. He saw how Ochako used mage armor, and later on, he had the same idea. But learning that spell could have taken time. Then with a shaman, he learned much more. Deku bringing his hand up, his outstretched hand beginning to make a blade, and the aura does begin to form and coalesce around as Deku does it go to hold onto a hilt. And this, it does make Sir Theodore watch. Deku pulling the hilt forwards as it does begin to wrap around his hand and flow around him. And Izuku, he does try to focus. Keep his mind steady. Keep the mental image in his brain about what he does want. The sword was easy, familiar to him, and something that he's gotten quite accustomed to. A year ago, if you told him that he would wield a sword, he would have thought you were crazy. But now it's a part of him, just like how wings are a part of Theodore. They were a part of the man. And Deku, he uses that. He tries to think about it on his own anatomy, where they'd go. For Theodore's, they're somewhere in the middle of his back, right between his arms. They're connected to his spine. On Indra, they're a bit lower, a bit more on the bottom of her back. It's a little weird, but he's not sure how that works for her. And this thought does make Deku somewhat question her, well, flying capabilities. She's fast. He knows that much from training like that. But this is different. Is it flying in a different manner? With mana? Okay, that's what the construct's made out of, but this is his own skill. Deku, feeling the sword fade around his arm, and the aura does continue to collect. Before Deku, he does go to bring his hands out, flexing his arms a bit and going to feel the area of his back move, as he does try to think about it. And this is harder than he imagined. It feels strange. It's a part of him. And that thought, it does give Deku an idea. He forms the suit of armor around him. And Theodore, he does it a watch on, trying to see Deku's process, see how he is handling it. And Izuku, he does build it, connecting it around him. And he does get to suck in a bit of a breath. The armor beginning to fade into a strange blue glow. And he looks like he's almost covered in blue slime. Before it does begin to coalesce around his back and begin to form. It turning into two strange blue things jutting upwards. And Theodore does get a watch on. Deku trying to focus and hold it. Before his concentration does get a break, hearing a noise and turning his head. Indra going to land. Talking about it. Well now, what is going on here? Deku's face going to turn to hers and drop a bit, as the construct does get to disperse, and Theodore does get to turn to her, telling her. Right now, they were in the middle of some training. He's seeing quite a bit of progress with this. Though, that's another thing. How exactly has her training been coming along? The man's not crossing his arms, and she does a little bit of a scoff and turn to Deku, looking at him and telling him she will win tomorrow. And Deku does a turn looking at her, before he says smile, and tell her he's heard that before. But what are they now? 2-0? He's dealt with bullies. And usually you'd have to be stronger to be on top, be the bully. Is that right? Deku turning to Theodore, and the man, he does this one little bit of a smile, as Indra does get a turn and make her way off, since this It's gotten old very fast. And the man is just on turn, nodding his head at Deku and going to express. Maybe dial it back just a little bit. They want her to be humbled. Though, does he think he can win? Maybe. But I don't know why I'm making wings if I can fly. Well, other than additional speed, it's for the fighting style. It used to be one for my people. Really? Yes. I'd like to get you more proficient in raw mana, your powerful elemental skill, and this unique skill of yours. Your familiar skill, that one should come naturally as you fight. I'm not concerned about it. You use it when you spar, correct? So far, yes. Though I'm not sure about using it against a sword just yet. Don't need that experience again. Maybe soon. But, as for now, I'm being serious. Those are the 3 elements and items I want you to focus on, along with your studies. The magical spells you've learned. Have you learned all of them? Yeah, I have. I've learned about, 5 of them? It's been a bit of a process, or no, wait, 6 of them. I've learned all 6. All 6? Izuku, I told you to learn one other spell. I know. Sorry. It's just, something's going on with my dreams. I'm somewhere weird. The man gonna relax a bit before his face does get a somewhat twist and a bit of suspicion, asking Izuku how long this has been going on. Since after Stonefen. So nearly 2 weeks? I see. Well now, that is not good. What is this dream about? I'm in a room. It's strange. There's a mantle, there's a painting of a man I've never seen, but I can't make out his face. It's large, it's bright, vibrant, and somehow it's darker and more chilling at the same time. His eyes stand out to me. That's the one thing I can remember. He's sitting in the dark, but the light is brighter than anything I've seen from the fire. But it's also fighting the darker dark. I don't know. Colors don't seem to make sense in that dream. The man's sitting there and then he's not. Something clatters to the ground and breaks after he... Does he drink something? Yeah, he does. Why? How vivid is this dream? Very sometimes. I try to get notes down whenever I wake up, but sometimes I'm too groggy or I'm just sitting there trying to process it for a minute. It's been very intense before. I mean, it felt odd. Things felt heightened. You could smell the fire even though you knew it was a dream. You smell the ash. I could. And yeah, I don't know. I was confused. I didn't know what was happening. And, well, I don't know. Izuku, you're dreaming of the Feywild. The Feywild. Wait, I am? Huh. That might not be a dream at all. I need to. That isn't a dream, if I'm correct. I think a Fae might have tried to reach out to you. The only way they could have known how. Though, this needs a bit more study, a bit more research, a bit more information. I'll talk to the witch, see what I can find out. For right now, though, I'd suggest you take a break. Go catch some sleep. It's not even dinner yet. I know. You've been training all day, and from the looks of you, you need the rest. Thought you were just going a little harder on it, but maybe not. Yeah, maybe. Still. It's just... If it's really the Feywild, something's wrong, right? Typically, yes. Whoever died might have been trying to give you a warning. They might be doing something. The fact that you are involved in your status in all this is concerning as well. It could be a ploy from the Archfey to draw you in. Examine you a bit closer and study you. Maybe make a deal and confine you there. Seriously? It might be. Never said it was. Though, it could be the situation between our two empires is tense for a reason. It could be someone is messing with us. Someone wants them dead, or with you there as a show of good faith, being an involuntary party, I guess. They can't blame you for anything. You're technically neutral. I don't see... Neutral isn't the best word. They can't say you've done certain things. You're not from this land. They're from a different realm. So, your status is special. They'll have to respect it. Fact of the matter is, Izuku, a lot's going to happen when we get there, and I'm not sure you're ready for it. Rest up. Tomorrow, we can maybe go to a place. It'd be good for you to step into the Feywild before this meeting. Him going to turn, telling Izuku once again. They'll continue this training a bit more tomorrow, when he's had some proper rest. He'll talk to his friend and see what he can find. If she can't find something to help him, then they'll take it somewhere more. Does he understand? More what? More magical. Deku nodding his head. Theodore going to quickly fly off as Izuku does go to stretch a bit, trying to think about how to use his spiritual skill. It's gotten stronger. A lot. He has felt the leap. His previous level was something else. But this one, he feels like he's practically overflowing with his power. It's nice, it's incredible. He hasn't practiced like how he has with ice. It's mainly just been an offensive titan, I guess? A spiritual construct. Yeah. He has to fix that. If he relies on those things too much. No, those are a part of him. That is his power. His power. He needs to figure out how to make it more malleable. Ice has gotten easier, but that's because it's at a higher level. Did level 5 give him more control? More to work with? Another boost? Maybe you should ask the other heroes. As much as he doesn't like it, Bakugo's input on his own level growth might be good. Kirishima's, though, is definitely the most powerful. Ochako's potentially. She mainly is a spellcaster, so she might have the biggest pool of them all. Huh, the most magic. He is a little jealous, but she does have to work for it. That he can understand. Him going to plop down to his bed when he does finally get to the room, hearing a noise and going to turn, seeing as right now, Astoth does go to someone lay there on his desk. Him turning to look and sitting up at the dragon, who does a look up at Deku and go to lay back down, going to roll onto his side as he has to tell him. Did he wash off again, or did he track in a bit more blood? And the creature does go to try and tell him. It rinsed. And Deku, he does just let out a small laugh, telling it, good. Last time he scared the maids. Did he bring home leftovers? No. Ate heartily. Good. I'm gonna get a bit of sleep in. Then figure some stuff out. Tomorrow, maybe we can go on a small quest. Stretch your wings a bit? Yes. The creature going to lower its head. Deku plopping back onto his bed. As there is when the creature does somewhat flap its wings, flying over to rest at Deku's side. And he does go to pass out immediately. Him feeling weightless, feeling strange and odd. He feels better. But he does get to open his eyes. He felt like he was floating for a minute. And he does get to turn his head. A little confused. What's happening? That's odd. He just wanted to get sleep and... No. Deku looking up and beginning to see the room form around him. Though this time it's clearer. Better. He can see it. He can see the portrait and the man's face. Deku walking around, going to take a few steps to the right and trying to see if he can finally see this person in the chair. And the man sitting down, he looks elvish, but he's not. It's odd, but at a glance you'd think. And the man, he does stand there. Before he does gonna turn and gonna grab the bottle of wine, being to pour himself some into a nice glass. Before he's gonna raise it up, and Deku, he does gonna stare at this. He's seen and heard this scene a lot, but it's never been this clear. The man's poisoned. He wants to smack the glass right out of his hand and see if that would work. And Izuku, he does think about that, genuinely contemplating it. He's been restless for a while now, and seeing a man like this over and over again, this vivid this time, he feels like he can take action to prevent it. Though when he does step forwards and bring his hand up, he does go directly through the man, him going to fall backwards or quote-unquote forwards through the furniture. Right now, him going to crash onto the ground and bring his hands down, finding it to be the only solid surface he can interact with. Turning back and going back over to the wine. Going to reach for the bottle and watching as his hand does move directly through it. He's like a ghost, walking directly through the furniture and turning to bend down, looking at the wine. It's in Sylvan. Bringing his head forwards and trying to sniff it. And he is surprised when he does get to smell something. Not just the fire. The wine. Deku going to stand and look around the room, seeing more details. They're in a study. There's a desk over there. He's never noticed it. The window. But it's sunrise, sundown? The light outside, it's beautiful, but dark. This room is too dark. Deku looking around. He does see more portraits, more paintings, and a small crack in a door. The door. Deku running over. And he does see it. Someone is there, on the other side. He can hear them. And right as he hear the glass finally clatter to the ground, his awareness is struck directly back, snapping his head back to the man before turning back, hearing the person quickly make their way down the hall. In this, it tells Deku what this is. There's been a murder. Whoever's on the other side of that door waited till they drank it to go. A servant? An enemy? An assassin? It must be. Deku walking over. But before he can make it back to the man, he is shaken awake. Him sitting up and turning to see Theodore, who does go to tell him. Well now, that didn't take too long. The dream. What? The Feywild. The place. The man was murdered. Easy there, Tiger. What are you talking about? The place. The dream. It was vivid this time. I remember everything. Huh. That's better. Though, I'd suggest maybe drinking this. Him going to hold up a vial, telling Izuku, the next couple days are going to be better for him. Now, write down as much detail as he can and get back to bed. If he is going to look into this dream a bit more, it will probably be best for him to at least have a few good nights rest before they get there. Tonight, drink a vial, and tomorrow, if he feels up to it, don't. See what happens. If they get worse, then let him know. This has become a magical issue for the court, and he may need to meet with them sooner than anticipated, especially if someone's been murdered and the humans are going to be blamed for it. The Fae don't take that kindly. Now, get back to bed. Deku going to understand, turning and looking at the small vial in his hand. The door closing as Deku does a turn, bringing his hand up and going to lock it closed. Before he does a lay back down and think. Right now, him sitting here for a second. He's not even going to ask questions about that. He probably used Mage Hand to unlock the door. Huh. He's never thought about that. Questions for later. Deku going to knock back the vial. And whenever he does it to do so, he does immediately feel sleep approaching him, encroaching upon his vision. Him going to lay back out and going to slumber. Him not having a dream. Sleeping and sleeping. And with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.